comment?
No.
No?
I just started a new video. Look, I mixed all my eyeshadows together.
Why would you do that?
Why not?
I don't know.
Hey guys, it's Ivory. Welcome to my channel. So today I have a really fun video. I will be combining all of my makeup together. So it will be in categories such as foundations, concealers, powders, blushes, etc. And then I'm gonna do a full face of it. It's gonna be a mix because I did see Alyssa Ashley do this video and she did everything except eyeshadow. And then I saw Sophia Nygaard, I hope I said that right, but I saw her do a video where she combined all of her eyeshadows into like a Franken eyeshadow, and I was like, oh my god, I want to do that too. So I thought I'd just put it all together and combine the best of both worlds and see what we come up with. I have a feeling this is gonna be a long video because there's a lot of products to go through. Before we get into it, subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every Wednesdays and Sundays and post occasional bonus videos throughout the week. And while you're here, be sure to also be following me on my social media. Both my Instagram as well as my Twitter are both _ivorypcherry. Let's get into this. Okay, so I think I want to start off with eyeshadows first. First of all, I'm going in with only my pressed powder eyeshadows. I'm not going to do my cream eyeshadows. I only have 3 of them, so it's not like a significant collection that is going to be missed out on. In the video, Sophia Nygaard bought a eyeshadow press where it's like you put in all the powders and then you stamp it and it will press it into a new shadow. But the machine on Amazon is a lot of money. I think it's over $100, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So I went on Amazon and bought all of these empty eyeshadow pans. They were pretty inexpensive. So I want to scrape all the powders, put them into a pan, and let it dry overnight. So this is going to be a 2-day process. I know you don't seem to care, but I care because I just want you to know how dedicated I am about this. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the single shadows, and I'm not measuring anything. I'm just kind of scraping left and right to the pan. I'm really sorry if you can't see everything because I want you to be able to see my face as well as the whole surface, so the camera has to be kind of far away, but I will do some close-ups, I promise. I have a feeling that the shadow that I create is going to be mostly neutrals because a lot of my palettes are neutrals. Okay, so this is what I have thus far. It's nothing super interesting. We're going to move on to the palettes now. I'm going to start off with the James Charles one since it's the biggest one, and I don't know how I'm supposed to do this because if I scrape it, then it like goes down into other shadows. I guess I just have to like tilt it. I don't know. I really hope this is worth it and that this isn't just a huge waste of my time. Just like when I went to college and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a bachelor's in mathematics because that's gonna be super fun and it's gonna be so easy to find a job. I didn't even get a job that had anything to do with my math degree. Okay, so hopefully you can see I have scraped into every single one. I really just take the spoon and go straight down the middle and scrape it once. The foiled ones, they crumble so easily that I didn't even have to go all the way down. Like I could go halfway and it would be just as much as doing a pressed pigment all the way down. So I didn't have to scrape as much. Oh my god, I still have 7 more palettes to do. I don't want this to get super long, so we're just gonna power through the rest. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is it. This is the last one. So this is what it looks like as of right now. So now I'm just gonna scrape everything like it's food. They look kind of like pencil shavings. And I'm gonna smash them up a little bit more just so that it's super fine, like me. And I'm just gonna take my empty eyeshadow pan and just kind of push it in. Oh god, it's a lot. Oh my god. So I'm just gonna take my spoon and really press that all in together. So now I'm just gonna add a little bit of alcohol, and I'm gonna take my paper towel and the back of a spoon and press it even more. And this is gonna be our eyeshadow for tomorrow. We're gonna move on to blushes now. This right here is my entire blush collection. There are 8 in total. Of the 8, 2 of them are shimmery, not shimmery, but like they're not mattes. And then the rest are mattes. Let's get to scraping. A little bit of Tarte in my life. A little bit of Steve Laurent by my side. A little bit of Ziza's all I need. A little bit of balm is what I see. A little Milani in the sun. A little Wet n Wild all night long. A little BH Cosmetics, here I am. A little bit of you makes me your man. This is such a waste of time, but I'm just having a blast here, just doing me. I encourage you all to do this if you ever have this much free time. And we are done with the blush. All right, so next off, I have highlighters. You guys know I rarely highlight, which is why I don't have a huge highlighting collection. If you buy any highlighter, this is a great one. It is the Physicians Formula Warm Nude Shimmer Strips. Inside, you have so many different undertones as well as different colors. You have a white, you have goldens, you have bronzes, you have coppers, you have pinks, baby pinks. Since I don't have a lot of highlight, I think I have to scrape off more than I did with even the blushes just so that it fits into the pan, which is fine for me because let's face it, I'm never gonna finish these highlighters, so I don't feel too bad about that. And once it's all put in together in a pan, this is what it looks like. I actually think it looks really pretty. Even though I don't like highlight, I do like neutrals, so I really like this. So if you ever have trouble picking a highlighter, just scrape all of your highlighters together and make one super highlighter. All right, so next off we have bronzers. 3 of them are matte. This one is the only one that has a shimmer to it. So as you can see, this one is my favorite. This is the Benefit Hoola bronzer. And since I don't have a lot of the Benefit Hoola bronzer, I'm using the entire pan. So after today, I will no longer be using the Benefit Hoola bronzer in my tutorials. I will be moving on to the butter bronzer. So mark it in your calendars, guys. This is the end of an era. I was diehard over that bronzer for so long. And this is what I am left with. I think I put too much of the Milani one in because I just see gold spackles running through the entire powder, but oh well. And that is a wrap for today. I have no more powder products that need to be mixed in together. This is it. This is my eyeshadow. This is my blush, this is my bronzer, and this is my highlighter. We're gonna let this dry overnight, and then tomorrow I will mix all of my liquids and creams so that everything is fresh. Okay, so it is now 3 days after I have done all of the powder products. I went ahead and edited that part of the video because I didn't want this video to be super long, so I edited it just to see how much time I have for the second part, which is going to be mixing all of my cream and liquid products. So all that's left is primer, foundation, concealer, as well as lip products. Let's start with order of application, which would be primer. So I actually have 5 primers. All of my primers are like usually for mattifying and pore minimizing. So I'm sure that's what I'm gonna get from mixing all of these together. As you know, the Smashbox Photo Finish is my favorite primer to use just because it fills in your pores really nicely and it just makes your skin so smooth. But if you are looking for a dupe, the Maybelline Master Prime, the one that says blur and pore minimize, is a great one. I mean, they even look similar. So if you were looking for a cheaper alternative, that one is really great. I didn't really measure these out, so it's not an exact science here. And this is what we're left with. Nothing super interesting, but in case you were curious, this is what it looks like. All right, moving on to foundation. As you can see, I like foundation. I have some that are the full bottles that I've bought, and then some that every single time I go to Sephora or Macy's, I ask for a sample to try. So as you can see, I sample quite a bit. If you count the foundations that I have actually purchased, I have 8 bottles. If you include the samples, I have a total of 14 foundations. So I'm gonna add just 1 pump. I think that's more than plenty. Obviously the tube ones are a little harder to estimate, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Okay, so I just finished all the bottles, so now we're gonna move on to samples. Some of these samples are like a year old because they like didn't work out for me and I didn't buy a full size, but I just keep them because I'm a hoarder and I'm always the type of person that keeps everything, you know, just in case. I'm definitely not like that with everything in my life. Like with clothes, I'm pretty generous and I can easily give things away and not feel bad about it. But when it comes to makeup, I keep everything. And mixed together, this is what it looks like. I know my preferences and I can tell you right now, this is gonna be super full coverage and it's gonna be amazing. So I'm really excited to try this one out of all the things that I mixed together. All right, so next up we have concealers. I have 2 that are of the same brand, but they are different shades. So I just figured I include both of them. I have 6 in total. So I think I'm just gonna swipe each one onto the plate because I don't think I can just like pour it out, like it's not letting me. And this is what it looks like. When I'm done with everything, I'm just gonna take a brush and mix it all together. It's not super interesting. It looks pretty much exactly like my foundation, except a little bit lighter. All right, and lastly, we have my lip products. I didn't know if I wanted to mix this all into one plate or if I should do it by categories. Ultimately, I decided that I wanted to do this in categories. So I think I'm gonna categorize everything so that over here we have the liquid lipsticks, and that will be my base. And then on top of it, I will apply my lipsticks, and then I'm gonna add some lip gloss on top. So starting off, I'm gonna do the liquid lipsticks. I have 11 of them. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. This one, the Maybelline Vivid Matte Liquid Lipstick, is one that I don't. It never dries down, at least this dark purple. So that one is one of my least favorites, along with the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream. Although I don't actually know if this is a liquid lip or like a lip tint. The name is very confusing to me. And this is what it looks like all mixed together. Not gonna lie, that black and that dark purple really threw off the color. It is now a dark brown, but I see a little bit of purple going through it. Not really into this color, but luckily we're gonna throw on a lipstick and hopefully it will cover this atrocious color. All right, next off we have lipsticks. I have 10 of them, and a lot of my lipsticks I will say are red because I went through a Taylor Swift phase where I wanted to copy her red lip. It was during the 1989 era. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the lipstick and kind of scrape it along the plate, and then later on my brush will mix them all together. Out of all the lipsticks, I would say this is the only one that has any meaning for me. This was the lipstick that I wore on my wedding day. It's the original lipstick too. And mixed all together, this is what we're gonna get. I actually like this color a lot. It's like a pinkish, reddish, raspberry color. And lastly, I have lip glosses. 2 of them are clear. The other 2 are tinted. The Wet n Wilds are the cheapest that I've ever found. I think these are like $1.20. They have different tints, but honestly, it just looks clear to me. I can see it on the plate that there's a really light tint, but it's barely detectable on the lips. And if you want a very pigmented lip gloss, the Maybelline Vivid Hot Lacquer is my favorite one. I often don't even have to put anything underneath like a lipstick. Like, look at that. That is so pretty. As you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of lip glosses just because I don't like when they are on my straws when I drink and they make my liquid lipsticks or my lipsticks wear off easily. But every once in a while, a look will call for it, so I do have a very small collection. And mixing this all together, obviously clear plus red is gonna give you red, so no surprise here, it's red. Okay, so everything is mixed, so we're just gonna do everything in order that I normally would. Starting off with my primer, I'm just gonna use my hands, and 2 of them were hydrating primers, so I definitely feel moisturized. This actually feels really nice. Even though I do feel that silicone-y texture from the Smashbox, I feel like the other primers made it so that it's not as velvety smooth. Like, it kind of thinned it out so it's not as thick. But I'm not hating it, and even if I did, I'm gonna wipe this off. Like, this is just for fun. Moving on, we have foundation. I'm gonna use my Juno & Co. sponge, and I'm really excited about this. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And that color match, that's a good color match. That would have been embarrassing if it was way off. So this is 1 coat of the foundation. It is full. I don't think I need another coat, but I just have so much product left that I'm like, who cares? Let's just do it. I'm really just gonna focus this on the areas where I have the most acne because nobody wants to see that. And this is what my foundation looks like. I kind of want to like keep this and put it in a bottle and reuse it because I am really happy with how my face looks. We're gonna move on with concealer. I'm gonna use a concealer brush and I'm gonna use that to mix all of them together. And I'm gonna use this to add add concealer to the places I normally would. This is a perfect shade too. I don't like super bright under eyes. I only like it to be slightly lighter than my foundation shade. And look at that, like they're almost the same. It's like I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna take a Morphe sponge and I'm just gonna blend this out. I'm gonna go ahead and set this with my Coty Airspun. I only have one setting powder. Setting powder takes a long time for me to finish, so I only buy one at a time. All right, and now we're gonna move on to bronzer. This is what the bronzer looks like now that it's all dry. It has a little bit of gold running through it from the Milani bronzer because that is my only shimmery bronzer. And we're just gonna warm up the face. Oh, that dark contour shade is really making this look muddy. And I'm also gonna take some on the Morphe E62 brush and I'm gonna use that to contour my nose. All right, and this is my bronzer slash contour. It is a little bit darker than what I am used to, but it's not bad. I'm not super off. Next off, we have blush. This is what it looks like. Overall, I would say that it is matte because most of my blushes are matte and only 2 out of the 6 were shimmery, but I do see a little bit of shimmer running through it. And okay. Oh, that's really pretty. I would totally wear this as a color on its own. I got a little too excited and now it's a pretty strong blush. I'm gonna carve out my cheekbones with translucent powder and hopefully the translucent powder will tone it down. So next off, I have the eyes. As you can see, I like messed up and there's a piece of glitter hanging on the side, like I just didn't blend it really well. It's an interesting color because I can see predominantly it's brown, but I see a lot of blues and golds and silvers. It's definitely more spackled than, I mean, it could be because I didn't mix it properly, but I don't think this shadow is really well combined. I'm gonna use a fluffy brush and go all over the pan, and then I'm gonna go in with my finger and see how that swatches on the lid. I would describe this color as like a taupey grayish brown. Obviously, I like it because I like neutrals. I think it's a pretty nice transition shade. And it's not like a dead matte. Like I see a little bit of luminosity and life going through it. And in terms of the quality, the blending actually is really nice. There's no skipping or patchiness. And then with my finger, I'm just gonna rub all over it and apply it to the lid. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I can see some of the glitter that was like chunky and just hanging off from the side dispersed all over the lid. It isn't more shiny using a finger versus using a fluffy brush. I think it is relatively the same, but this is the color we came up with, a really kind of boring brown. All right, so next off we have highlighter. I'm not gonna lie, this is really pretty. It is a champagne color, which is what most of my highlighters are. So I'm gonna use an M501 brush. And I'm gonna douse it kind of generously and we're just gonna go for it. No highlight, highlight. No highlight, highlight. I'm gonna spritz my face and then add the highlighter on top just to see how bright we can get it. I also really like using highlight as eyeshadow, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this on the lid on top of the eyeshadow, just because the eye look is so one-dimensional. And this is the highlight. It is really, really bright. Obviously, I really piled it on because I wanted to see just how bright I could get it. All right, so lastly, we're gonna do lips. So I'm gonna go in with this ugly color that is the liquid lip. We're gonna apply that as the base. Okay, so my lips are super chapped right now, so I'm not gonna get super close. I actually like this lip color. It's a grayish purple. I'm into it. I am pleasantly surprised. While this is drying down, I'm gonna add some mascara and lashes just because I look a little dead in the eyes. Okay, so it's been over 5 minutes. It still hasn't dried down. I'm gonna take a little bit of the eyeshadow and run it through my lower lash line. Even though this isn't a look, we're gonna try and look presentable. I take my job on YouTube very seriously. No half-assing here. We're gonna move on to lipstick, and I have a feeling that it's gonna move around the liquid lipstick at the bottom. Oh no. These do not go. I'm just gonna use my finger and dab because if I use the brush, it's like swiping away the liquid lipstick underneath. Okay, so this is with the lipstick on top. There's not a big difference just because the purple is so much darker that it overpowers that color. We're gonna go in with our lip gloss to make this nice and shiny, and I'm gonna use my finger too. I feel like everything was looking okay until we hit the lips. And this is the final look, guys. If you are still here at the very end, you are either very loyal or very bored. Either way, I'm very happy that you stuck with it to the very end. This liquid lip is not drying down, especially with the gloss over it. So I'm gonna blot because it's like getting stuck in my teeth. I wanna keep this ending really brief because the video itself is so long. You guys have no idea how long it took me to edit this and just sitting down and going through every single product. I'm gonna tell you right now, I will never do this again. Well, hold on, let me retract that real quick. I will never do all of this all at once for a video ever again. I might do one where I just mix all my eyeshadows and that'll be a video, and then each category will be a video, but I will never combine them into one video ever again. The amount of work to do all this for just one single video has given me such a headache. You guys have no idea. But I am actually pleasantly surprised by how this all turned out. I didn't think I would actually like the final product, but I really do. Minus the highlight, because you guys know I don't highlight, but I did like the highlighting color itself. I would use that to do my inner corners or like all over the lid. I think the lip color is actually the most surprising to me because just mixing it on the plate, I was like, ew, that's gonna look so ugly. But I actually am into the way that it turned out. I do not like the lipstick and the lip gloss on top of it. I think just the purple is good. And as far as everything else, I mean, the eyeshadow, not super groundbreaking. I didn't invent a new shadow that I think you should all get. It's pretty boring, but I do think it's pretty. I'd say I'm actually pretty happy with the way everything turned out. And I actually liked the colors of everything mixed together for the most part. So that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like it and feel free to comment down below what other types of videos you'd like to see from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.